Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant, and today I want to talk about the story in Elite Dangerous. Now, this isn't the Thargoid story and has nothing to do with the pacing of it or anything else. Instead, I want to talk about the story of the galaxy itself, what's going on within it, all the things that have been changing, and more to the point, does anyone even know what's actually happening? Now, in various terminology and various ways, Elite Dangerous, in terms of its story, has been accused more than once of being a black box. That is, you really don't know what's going on inside of it. And that's especially true even when you're playing the game. In order to get any story, you essentially have to leave the game and check out YouTube or check out forums or go and read Reddit. You can of course read Galnet, which is available in-game, but that doesn't cover everything, and it's suitably vague most of the time, so that it's not essentially a massive help for players, especially when they need to go and find specific locations, or if they wish to get involved in specific activities. That said, this is something that Frontier plan on addressing next year with their Galnet audio update scheduled for the first quarter.
Greetings, Commanders. For over a century, the Galnet news agency has been bringing news to the entire galaxy. Now, we are introducing a new feature: Galnet Audio. Galactic leaders have declared a galaxy-wide state of emergency in response to the rapidly escalating Thargoid threat.
Now, in addition to Galnet Audio, Frontier have also scheduled a Codex update for the fourth quarter of next year. At the moment, we don't have any specific details on how all of this is going to work, so it's very hard to judge how effective this is going to be in impacting the problems we currently have. But personally, I think it's worth addressing those problems and talking about them because it's a topic that keeps coming up, and it's something you'll see again and again in my recent YouTube comments. The problem really seems to be two-factored then. Firstly, people really don't know what's going on in the game without relying on external game sources, and secondly, that many people just no longer seem to care. Of course, much of that is due to the nature of the gameplay that's already there in Elite, but that's another subject for another time. For now, let's focus on making people aware of what actually is there and present. So, the idea of Galnet Audio is a very good start, but it's something that needs to go far beyond the current implementation of Galnet. And this is something that YouTuber Vindicator Jones spoke about some months ago. In fact, he went as far as highlighting a concept. And we'll have a brief look at that right here, but I'll link the full video below, and I highly urge you to go and check that out.
This is a galaxy-wide alert from the Pilots Federation. Commanders who are engaging in combat with Thargoid vessels have reported that the new AX missile system is starting to become less and less effective. The Aegis Initiative has responded with an immediate warning to all commanders.
So straight away, something like this has a massive impact upon the game. It makes it feel very much alive. It gives players the information they need, and it also gives players a reason to care. After all, the information is there right in their face, and it directly impacts what's going on within the game. This is one element of what went very wrong with power play. Leaving aside the gameplay mechanics of power play for the moment, the other side is that really no one knows what's going on. Now of course you can go into the galaxy map and switch on all the filters, and you can get a feel for directly where all the powers are and what they're up to. But if this information is to be vital, if it really is the tapestry against which the galaxy is interwoven, then it needs to be front and center. Information and updates could be fed directly to your ship's info panel, just as in Vindicator's concept. The same could be said for the background simulation. Again, leaving aside the gameplay mechanics with it for the moment. This could be fed to our ships via local news information, so it only really comes up when it directly affects you. So being aware of what's going on is one side of the problem, and I think Frontier are well aware of that, which is why they're addressing it. But like I say, we don't know yet how far they're going to go in addressing that, and it does need to be a significant distance, because at the moment the current implementation is very, very poor. And I don't mean that in the negative, unconstructive sense, I mean that purely in the sense that it doesn't accomplish its purpose. I'm sure there are players out there who have never visited YouTube, who never go to the official forums or never go to Reddit, and in fact simply play the game just as it is, and they're probably more or less completely unaware that the Thargoids, for example, even exist, let alone are out there to fight. So the first part of that challenge then is making people aware of the information. The second part is giving them reason to care. Now granted, this second part is certainly more gameplay focused than it is narrative focused, but nonetheless, it could be improved with a few relatively minor changes. For example, changes in system state could have far more dramatic effect on the overall gameplay. For example, a system in a state of war could be a very dangerous place to visit. Now, not just conflict zones of course, but an increased military presence all round, a very high chance of getting interdicted and destroyed for even minor crimes. Systems that are in a state of famine or outbreak, again, could be very dangerous places to visit. In such times, it's not unheard of for military and police to have heightened powers. For example, they could interdict you and seize anything they think might be beneficial to their cause. The state of stations in such systems could also change, even if it's only simple visual and audio alerts. In short then, give people reason to care and let them know the news affects their daily in-game lives. But it needn't stop there. Why not let all players, even brand new players, know what's going on in the world of Elite Dangerous before they even get into the game? There's a lot of opportunities to do this, and in fact Frontier, you already have the assets. Now clearly, a lot of work is going into making this video, and it's available on the official Elite Dangerous YouTube channel. But not everyone watches YouTube, so give everyone the opportunity to see it. Sure, most people will only watch it once or twice before hitting that skip button, but let everyone know what's going on within the game. And this is probably one of the most simplest and effective methods to use. After all, it's something games have been using for decades now. Aside from the minor increase in client size here and associated bandwidth costs, I really don't see what the downside would be. But why not take that a few steps further? Of course, these are still all methods that take place outside of the in-game world, but nonetheless they are something that everyone is going to see. Simple details on the loading screen here is something that's going to spread information far and wide very, very rapidly. The task after all is to get people involved in gameplay, is it not? So let them know what's going on. So just a final note on this particular subject, this video isn't necessarily about game mechanics, but it is about delivering the necessary information to people so they know what's happening within the game, without having to rely on out-of-game sites. And based on the information that Frontier gave us at the Frontier Expo, they are well aware of this fact. But really, any changes that are made really do need to be far-reaching and have wide enough impact. So that then brings us to an end of this subject on Elite Dangerous. But before I go, there's another topic I really want to briefly talk about, and this is something I don't normally do. Now, for a number of years, the official author of Elite Dangerous novels, Drew Wager, has been supporting a charity known as the March Wood Project. It's a charity that provides support for youngsters who fall outside of school and college, basically children with mental health issues and other such troubles, and kids who are attempting to rebuild their lives. Now, last weekend, this charity was the victim of a robbery and an arson attack. Basically, they lost absolutely everything, and Drew is now trying to help them rebuild their work. He's collecting money on the Just Giving crowdfunding website, so if this at all sounds like something you may want to help out with, then do click the link below and head on over there and take a look. That then brings us to an end of this video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.